Have you ever found yourself just standing in front of an open fridge? You're not quite sure if you're actually hungry, or maybe you're just bored, stressed. Yeah, we have all been there. Today, we're going to decode those mixed signals and really figure out what our bodies are trying to tell us. So let's get into it.
So here's the game plan. First up, we're going to figure out the difference between real, physical hunger and those emotional cravings. Then, we'll dive right into the science of what makes you feel full. After that, we'll expose the foods that are literally designed to work against you and uncover the pretty shocking link between sleep and your appetite. And finally, we'll pull it all together into a path forward that you can actually stick with.
All right, let's start at the beginning, decoding your body's cues. It's time to learn how to actually listen to what's going on inside. This seems like such a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, it's way more complicated than you'd think. Are you truly hungry for fuel, or is something else going on that's making you want to eat? Let's figure this out together. This chart breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you have physical hunger. This is the kind that builds up slowly. Your stomach might start to rumble a few hours after you last ate, and honestly, almost anything sounds pretty good. But then, there's psychological hunger. That's more like an ambush. It hits you all of a sudden, it feels super urgent, and it's almost always for one specific thing, right? Like, you don't just want a snack, you want that bag of chips. And the difference in how you feel afterwards is huge. Satisfaction versus, a lot of the time, guilt. So here's a great little trick people use. It's what I like to call the anything test. You ask yourself, would I eat something simple and maybe even a little boring right now? For some people, that's a can of sardines. For others, it might just be a piece of celery. If the answer is yes, well, that's a pretty clear sign you're dealing with real physical hunger. Okay, so now that we can spot true hunger, let's get into what actually satisfies it. Welcome to the fascinating science of satiety.
A huge concept here is something called energy density. All that means is the number of calories packed into a certain amount of food. If you want to feel full without eating a ton of calories, the secret is to focus on foods with low energy density. Think about a huge voluminous salad versus a tiny little candy bar. The salad fills up the plate and your stomach for way fewer calories.
And this right here is the perfect example. I mean, look at this. A full cup of grapes has the exact same volume as a cup of raisins, but because of all the water in the grapes, they only have about a quarter of the calories. That means you can eat a huge, satisfying bowl of grapes for the same calorie cost as a little handful of raisins. That right there is energy density in action.
So what actually determines a food's energy density? Well, it really comes down to the nutrients inside. And as you can see, fat is the most energy dense by a long shot. It packs 9 calories per gram, which is more than double what protein and carbs have. This is exactly why even a small amount of a high-fat food can be so high in calories.
But here's the thing. Not all nutrients are created equal when it comes to making you feel full and satisfied. And that brings us to the undisputed champion of satiety, protein. Seriously, it is a total game changer for managing hunger.
So how does protein work its magic? Well, for starters, your body actually burns more calories just digesting it. That's called thermogenesis. It also helps regulate your appetite hormones, sending signals to your brain that you're full. Plus, when you're losing weight, it helps you hold on to muscle, which is crucial for keeping your metabolism fired up. And the result? Well, studies show that high-protein diets can keep you feeling fuller for longer, leading to less overeating for months.
Okay, so if protein and low energy density foods are the heroes of our story, then every good story needs a villain. And it's time to meet that villain. Ultra-processed foods. These are the foods that are actively sabotaging your body's natural hunger signals. And let's be really clear about this. Ultra-processed foods, or UPFs, they aren't just food. They are scientifically engineered products. They are literally designed to make you eat more. Period. It's not an accident.
They're incredibly high in calories, but have almost none of the good stuff, like fiber and protein, that tells your brain you're full. They're also what scientists call hyperpalatable. That just means they have the perfect lab-tested combination of salt, sugar, and fat to make them basically irresistible. And over time, eating them can seriously mess with your hormones, making it harder and harder for your brain to even get the "I'm full" message. It's a really vicious cycle.
But it's not just about what you eat. There's another huge factor that acts like an on-off switch for your appetite. And it's probably something you're not thinking about enough: your sleep. This is so important. When you're sleep deprived, you're not just tired and groggy, your body's entire appetite regulation system gets completely rewired, and not in a good way. It basically leaves you feeling hungrier and craving all the wrong things.
This slide shows you the hormonal chaos that happens when you don't get enough sleep. It's a total double whammy. Leptin, that's your I'm full hormone, it goes down. At the same time, ghrelin, your hey, I'm hungry hormone, goes way up. So you're left with less of the signal telling you to stop eating and way more of the signal telling you to start.
And look, this isn't just some theory. The science is crystal clear. Study after study links sleep restriction directly to increased hunger and appetite, all because of that messed up ratio of your hunger hormones. The bottom line is, a good night's sleep might just be one of the best appetite suppressants there is.
Okay, so we've looked at the problems, we've dug into the science behind them. Now what? How do we actually put all this together into a plan that we can live with for the long haul?
Well, the Mediterranean diet is a perfect example of all these principles in action. It's absolutely packed with low energy density plants, high fiber whole grains, and really satisfying proteins and healthy fats. It's not so much a restrictive diet as it is a delicious, natural way of eating that aligns with everything we've just talked about.
And this is exactly why it's so effective. Sure, the weight loss numbers are pretty similar to other diets, but look at that last column, the adherence rate. That's the real story. It's so much higher because people can actually stick with it. It's not about restriction, it's about abundance and satisfaction, and that's what makes it sustainable.
And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. Instead of obsessing over every single calorie, the big shift is to focus on the quality of your food. It's about working with your body's natural signals, not constantly fighting against them.
So as we wrap this up, I want you to just take a moment, pause, and just check in with yourself. Are you thirsty? Maybe a little tired? Are you truly hungry? By starting to listen to these quiet little cues, you can start applying this science today. So what is your body telling you right now?